Welcome back, everyone, for another DRM News Global.
Yes, welcome back.
Today, we're going to be looking at something that could be a pretty big deal. Talking about a potential shift in, the global economy.
Yeah.
Possibly the decline of the U.S. dollar's, power at the top. And we're going to look at it through the lens of some pretty interesting comments.
Yeah, for sure.
From a certain former president.
Talking to U.S.
U.S., yeah.
Yeah.
Former President Trump.
Yeah.
And using tariffs as a way to keep other countries in line.
Yeah, it's really interesting stuff.
So the source we're going to be looking at today is an excerpt from a text titled "Trump Repeats Tariffs to Dissuade BRICS Nations from Replacing U.S. Dollar."
Right.
So pretty interesting. Let's jump right into it.
Let's get into it.
So, this whole thing about Trump and tariffs, I mean, what do you think? What's your take on all that?
Well, I mean, it really highlights the growing power of these BRICS nations, right? So we're talking about Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa. It's a force to be reckoned with, and their potential to move away from the U.S. dollar. I mean, it's a big deal.
It's a big deal. I remember when BRICS was just sort of this like abstract acronym.
Oh, yeah.
But now
it's a powerful blow.
Making waves, yeah.
Yeah.
So Trump's saying that he would use tariffs to essentially keep them from
ditching the dollar.
Ditching the dollar. Yeah. It seems
wrong arm tactics.
Intense. But what would actually happen if the dollar wasn't, the top dog anymore? What would that look like for the global economy?
Yeah, well, for decades, the U.S. dollar has been the world's reserve currency, right?
Right.
Meaning that it's the primary currency used for international trade and financial transactions all over the world.
Right, right.
Which gives the U.S. a lot of power because, you're essentially printing the money that the world relies on.
Right, yeah.
So if that dominance fades, there could be some, major consequences.
Okay, so less power for the U.S., that makes sense. But what about like the rest of us, the everyday person?
Yeah, so think about it like this. Right now, oil contracts are priced in U.S. dollars.
Right.
If that shifted to another currency, it could create a lot of volatility in the market, especially for countries and businesses that rely heavily on oil imports. We could also see the rise of new global financial institutions.
Oh, wow.
Potentially challenging, big institutions like the World Bank and the International Monetary Fund.
Yeah, there's a whole new world order potentially.
Yeah.
But can the BRICS nations actually do this?
Right. Yeah.
I mean, creating a whole new system seems like a pretty monumental task.
Absolutely. It's a huge undertaking. And there's definitely a lot of skepticism out there about whether they can truly, unite on this issue.
Right.
A global currency requires immense trust, stability, and a really, really complex financial infrastructure.
Right.
But they are taking steps. The New Development Bank, for example, that's essentially their answer to the World Bank, providing funding for projects with less reliance on the U.S. dollar.
So they're already laying the groundwork.
It seems like they're playing the long game.
Yeah, and this all raises a big question for you, the listener.
Yes.
How might this shift impact your personal finances? If you're investing internationally, if you're buying products from BRICS countries, this could really have ripple effects on your pocketbook. It's something to think about as we all navigate this changing economic landscape.
Definitely.
So we've unpacked some pretty complex issues today, but one thing is clear.
What's that?
The future of the U.S. dollar is far from guaranteed.
Oh, yeah.
The BRICS nations are really making some bold moves, and the ramifications
could be felt
worldwide.
Yeah, and as we move towards a potentially multipolar world with multiple power centers, I think a really big question emerges. How might individuals and nations adapt to a new global currency system?
To take one.
Will we see the emergence of currency baskets where multiple currencies are used for international trade? Or will a new dominant currency arise?
Yeah.
That's something to think about.
Yeah.
These are questions worth exploring.
Definitely food for thought. We've given you a lot to chew on today. We hope you'll continue to follow this story as it unfolds. Thanks for joining us on DRM News Global. We'll see you next time.
See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.